has depended on the play of Gabe Gardner, who's helped lift this team out of the losers bracket. Palisades has also received a boost from setter Kurt Nelson, who's on his way to college powerhouse UCLA. On the other side of the net, Nike has received power play from three-time USVBA All-American Andy Witt, a force at 6'6". Keep an eye out for George Romaine, an explosive power player with a strong eye for the kill. The best youth volleyball in America coming up next on Prime. From Disney's Contemporary Resort in Walt Disney World, Florida, Prime presents the 1995 U.S. Junior Olympic Boys 18 Championship. In the championship final, it's REEBOK Palisades 18 taking on Nike Boys Volleyball. And hello, everybody. Along with Lisa Gunning, I'm Dave Lamont, and thank you very much for joining us. What has become maybe the #1 junior volleyball tournament in the country. Lisa, it began with 84 boys teams. We're down to the top 2 seeds.
That's right. Some say only 4 teams had a legitimate shot of making it to this final. And then we see a 21st seed finish 5th in the tournament. We've also seen a preview of these 2 teams coming up, and it's really been exciting so far.
We're also going to see a preview today of some of the really outstanding high school seniors who are going on to the big colleges around the country. Let's talk about some of the stars at Nike first, Brandon Talafaro and Andy Witt.
Brandon Talafaro is a 6'5" setter, mixes up the offense very well, has a good head for who is on, and he has given a variety of big guns to load up. Andy Witt is the best high school volleyball player in the United States. Some are comparing him to Karch Karai when he was at this age, and he plays with both intensity and emotion.
Now, REEBOK Palisades owes Nike one. REEBOK got knocked into the losers bracket by the Nike team, and here's who REEBOK is going to count on: Dan Farmer and Fred Robbins.
Number 15 is Dan Farmer, a 6'4" middle blocker on his way to UCLA. He's a tremendous athlete, had trouble in earlier matches against Nike, but his play is definitely key for this match. On the other hand, number 21, Fred Robbins, is a big 6'6" outside hitter. He carried REEBOK to the finals in '94, and some consider him to be the best player in this national tournament. If this young man is on, we will see some wicked line shots.
Expect some spectacular play in a spectacular setting. The Contemporary Resort, our host here at Walt Disney World. Coming up, the championship. It'll be REEBOK Palisades versus Nike. Sit back and enjoy this one. You're watching volleyball here on Prime. Looking to get your feet wet at Disney World? Why not try River Country? There we are across River Country at the Contemporary Resort, and inside the Fantasia Ballroom as it's REEBOK Palisades versus Nike here on Prime for the U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Boys 18 Championship. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont, along with Lisa Gunning, and let's set these lineups now for Nike. Patrick Klein, Peter Costassi, George Romaine, Brandon Talafaro, Chad Arneson, and Andy Witt.
The Nike boys volleyball is the #2 seed coming in. These players are highly competitive, and most importantly, they have fun.
The coach is David Noble. We've enjoyed talking to him the last couple of days about his squad, and he's got them primed right now. They're playing maybe their best volleyball at this moment. Let's check out the REEBOK Palisades starting 6. Kurt Nelson, Tim and Dan Farmer. They are fraternal twins. Gabe Gardner, Fred Robbins, and Ryan Millar.
This is the #1 seed coming in and the defending national champions. They got 3 kids going to UCLA, 3 going to USC, and Ryan Millar is off to BYU. They are loaded with talent.
And they are coached by the man in the middle of your screen right there, Bill Ferguson. Let's explain some of the rules you're going to be seeing today in our match between REEBOK and Nike. It's best 2 out of 3. The game's, of course, at 15 with a cap at 17. Now, if we get to a third game, there'll be rally scoring. That means there's a point on every play, no cap, a dozen substitutions, and a double elimination.
Double elimination, as you mentioned earlier, is more important to REEBOK than Nike. Nike, if they win this match in 2 out of 3, they will automatically be the champion. REEBOK, if they win, they get another chance because it is double elimination.
Let's check out these teams got here. You see that Nike dominates. They defeat Great Lakes 9-1 and to wipe out REEBOK 4-4 to get to this championship game. REEBOK, because of that defeat, had to play a little bit extra. Let's see how they got to this championship game. REEBOK had a couple of great matches against Sports Performance, sandwiched around the defeat by Nike. You see the 15-12, 15-13 victory in the losers bracket final. sports performance put on an outstanding performance, but not quite good enough to defeat REEBOK Palisades. Our officials for this match, our first referee, Steve Satch from the Great Lakes region. He's the boss. And our second referee from the Southern California region, Koichi Nomura. Nike in the black and REEBOK in the gray uniforms. And Brandon Talifero will get the serve underway here for Nike. Championship match is underway. And the first point will go to Nike.
That was a great play by Nike up at the net, getting a good play on the, and REEBOK getting a lift. Antenna.
That's out of bounds, and it will be points to Nike, so they take the quick 2-0 lead. Gabe Gardner that time, touching the antenna.
Seems like the nerves are running a little ragged here. Nobody's had a clean play yet.
That was a clean play. Nicely done that time by Ryan Millar, and it's side out. REEBOK will take the serve down 2-0.
Millar's going back to serve. He's going to BYU next year, and BYU is going to be very happy to have this young man.
On the set, there's Romain, a very, very powerful player. Nike takes over on the side out.
We get a great look of George Romain going way up and over the block, cross court for the side out.
Romain this time will set up. And Nike will take over there, and they will pick up the point to take an early 3-0 lead. Now, they beat REEBOK Pali very badly in the semifinals, 15-4, 15-4, and they jumped out on them early here, 3-0.
Patrick Klein took a lot of speed off that ball just to mess it up a little bit, take the pace off, and did a great job of getting the ball back. Now, you can throw the ball up and let it bounce. As long as you don't touch it, it doesn't count as a missed serve.
Witt with a change of pace serve that time, and a double block, and Nike sends it back the other way, and they open up a 4-0 lead.
Gabe Gardner goes outside. He's a big outside hitter. We're going to get to take another look at it, but he just gets stuffed. George Romain does a great job of setting the block on the outside. Back to play.
The point again going to Nike. That ball was called good, and they've opened it up a 5-0 lead. As you see, George Romain. And REEBOK Pali wants a timeout. They've seen this movie already, and they don't like the way it's turning out. Nike's up on REEBOK early, 5-0 here in the first game at the U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Championships here on Prime. Disney World's Contemporary Resort. That serve, however, is out, and it'll be side out for REEBOK Pali.
Andy Witt, usually a very dependable server, usually goes with the jump serve, but had a little trouble hitting it long earlier and does the same with the floater.
Tim Farmer on the serve for REEBOK. Sent down that time by Peter Kudetsky.
Brandon has such soft hands and great timing, and when he jumps as a setter in the front row, he's going to bring a blocker up with him, which he does, and kind of opens up the net a little bit more for the power hitters.
Have so many Californians on both of these teams. Kudetsky, however, played in the Hungarian national team in 1994. Nike picks up another point. They're up 6-0 that time, and a very soft serve offered up there by Justin Van Loon.
Nike is in a great rotation with 3 big hitters in the front row and Brandon in the back row as the setter. Great dig.
Kept alive by REEBOK Pali. Romain. Pick up another point for Nike, and they continue to fatten their lead here to 7-0.
What a fantastic dig we're going to see here. Brandon picking it up, really getting underneath the ball, and Romain put a great setup to Klein to close out the point there.
That was a bad serve, however, that time by Van Loon, so REEBOK Pali will take over on the side out, trying to get into the point column here for the first time, and they'll ask Gabe Gardner to serve.
The big Gabe Gardner back in the back row. Big jump serve.
Tough knuckleball to handle there. Romain just saves it back into play. Van brings it over. Still alive.
Fred Robbins can really get up.
And so can Dan Farmer. There's the kill on the first point for REEBOK Pally.
That's what REEBOK has needed out of Dan Farmer all day, and we're going to get to take another look at it. He has great power and goes cross court out of the middle. That's why he's headed to UCLA.
And sent right back, however, by Adam Navy. He scores the kill. It's side out Nike, and George Farmer will serve. Or rather, George Romaine will serve. Touched the net, lost the serve. It's side out, REEBOK Palisades.
Nike giving REEBOK an opportunity to get back in this first game with big missed serves.
Dan Farmer will serve now. Strong kill by Patrick Klein. Side out Nike.
Patrick Klein is very effective on the outside, usually playing the opposite, and he's going to go out. And we're going to see Dan Stiles come in and serve and play the back row.
A lot of the substitutions, of course, based on strategy and putting players in certain places where coaches are comfortable with them. Stiles is the serve.
Stiles a good defensive man. That's why he'll be in the back row.
Ball is out of bounds, and it's going to be a point to Nike as they go up to 8-1.
Ryan Millar trying to go cross court, hits a piece of the net, and the ball just doesn't make it in the court. Nice back set.
George Romaine, we have seen that for 2 days now. His ability to come seemingly out of nowhere to put the point away, and Nike has built up an 8-point lead here in the opening game.
He does a great job going right into the block and putting the ball right inside of him.
Nicely done that time, though, for REEBOK Pally by Fred Robbins, and he is on his way to UCLA.
Fred Robbins was rested a little bit earlier in the day, having trouble with his back, but he sure doesn't look like he's having any trouble right now.
These teams have played a lot of volleyball over the last couple of days.
Well, that's what they're here for.
That'll be a point for REEBOK Pally.
Kurt Nelson, what a tough player in the match coming into this final. Dove for a ball, busted his chin open, had to take him out and get him a new shirt. He was bleeding so bad, but he's a tough guy.
Nice save.
Great body control not to go under the net by Tim Farmer.
Fred Robbins gets the kill again, and REEBOK picks up another point.
We're going to get to take another look at Fred Robbins, really putting in a lot of power. Can't get underneath the ball for Nike, and they get the point.
Correct score is 9-3. That one scoreboard hasn't caught up yet. Power spike that time by Andy Witt. As you said at the top of the show, maybe the best high school volleyball player in the country.
And he is just going to be a senior. This kid started going to volleyball camps when he was in the 7th grade at UC Santa Barbara, and his parents are very supportive. They've got a beach court built at their home, their own weight room. It's a wonder he's such a great volleyball player.
Chad Arneson substitutes in to serve for Nike. Sent back. Roof is the term. And it'll be side out REEBOK Pally as the crowd behind us here. A lot of the volleyball players in this tournament yelling out roof.
You're going to see Andy Witt go up against a strong block by REEBOK Palisades. Ryan Millar closes so well.
Romaine bounces it off the net. And that'll be a point for REEBOK Pally as they try to climb back into this. The score is 9-4.
You will see number 10, George Romaine, attack a lot from the back row, as you just did there, but usually more successful.
Witt, power spike. See you later. It's a side out for Nike.
I mentioned the great blocking of Ryan Millar. Doesn't quite get all the way outside to close the block, and Andy Witt gets one through.
With a serve now will be Brandon Talaferro.
That puts Nike in a better offensive mode. Setter in the back row, running the 5-1.
Didn't matter, though, to Ryan Millar. The future Cougar sends it down, and it's side out for REEBOK Pally.
Millar, they go to him a lot in the middle, This guy is fun to watch. He's very intense, very explosive, and he is a super, super nice man. George Romain, too hot to handle.
Sends the side out over to Nike, and that'll give the serve to Andy Witt. Nike making a substitution. Patrick Klein checks in.
I'm anxious to see if he opts for the jump serve again, as we've seen him all tournament long.
Doesn't look like it. Plays it straight.
Nice play off the block.
And a good substitution as Patrick Klein comes off the bench and scores the kill. And Nike picks up their 10th point.
Patrick Klein goes way up, and I'll tell you, Brandon Telefair has such soft hands. He is a wonderful setter.
Got to make this count, and they do. Gabe Gardner that time drives it off the Nike player to get their side out for Reebok, but they are down by 6. Tim Farmer will serve.
The 6'9" Gabe Gardner, awfully hard to handle on the outside. Wait till we see something quick out of him off the middle.
Romain's shot looks like it was good, and it is good. Say the officials, it's going to be a kill for George, another one, and side out for Nike. And Nike will make a substitution. Adam Navy will come in.
George Romain does a great job of getting up, but Gardner just can't get a handle on the block.
Van Loon to serve. Line laying up on that one. It is good. Fred Robbins gets the kill. It's side out Reebok.
Fred Robbins, as we mentioned, carried the team to the final in '94. Had a little back problem. Looking good today.
Serve is out, and it'll be side out to Nike. And when you're down by 6, Lisa, that's about the last thing you can do.
Well, these guys haven't played on this court yet. The surface seems to be a little bit softer to them. Lighting's a little bit different, so they're just settling in.
Good effort there by George Romain, but not good enough. Go right back to Reebok. They'll get the serve, and it'll be Dan Farmer.
And in the matches that we've seen, Reebok Palisades has had trouble in the first game in almost every match we've watched them. So we can't count them out yet.
Line, nice dig, still alive. Great play made by Reebok Pally. Line again, dug out again. Best point of the match. He whiffed on that. Navy whiffed on that, and it's going to be a point for Reebok Pally.
Timing is so important when running the quicks out of the middle. We're going to get to take another look at Klein going outside. Does a great job of a power cross court, and the dig is incredible for Reebok, keeping the ball in play.
Reebok Pally, the defending champions, down here in this first match. They get the block. Ryan Millar stuffs it down, and all of a sudden it is 10-6 with Dan Farmer, who's looking for his 3rd Junior Olympic gold medal.
Millar loves to play.
Clyde. Just in case you weren't sure about the first one, you had to be sure about the second one. Patrick Klein let everybody know that he meant that one. Side out to Nike.
That looked like he was going for the pitch back. That ball hung on the top of the net and set itself right back up to him, and that was just a clean swing away on the second for the kill.
Klein will serve. A little hard to handle that time. The shot from Gabe Gardner to get the side out back to Reebok Pally. 10-6 they trail.
Now serving number 7, Kurt Nelson.
Kurt Nelson, setter in the back row, has 3 big guys on line up there.
But Nike has Andy Witt, and he gets the kill and side out for Nike.
Andy Witt was going up against a solo block there, could handle either angle. He's got great vision in the air. He sees the block. He knows to either cut right, cut left, and does a good job of avoiding the blocker.
Adam Navy comes off the bench to serve. Barely got it over the top of the net. Side out goes to Reebok Pally.
Now serving number 21.
Peter Kadasky caught in the net.
Been a quiet match for Kadatsky.
So far.
Yeah, well, we both had that same thought after watching him earlier today.
He's explosive.
Witt. Dig almost into the crowd. Got to go over here. Just out. A great effort by REEBOK. It goes to side out Nike. These teams have played a lot of volleyball, as we mentioned. Particularly REEBOK Pally had to play the extra match today, courtesy of their friends from Nike.
It's tough coming out of the losers bracket, and Nike looks like they're having a little easier time, a little stronger legs so far.
Double hit, and it'll be a point for Nike. And they have opened up an 11-6 lead.
Brandon Telefero back to serve, but REEBOK's going to take a timeout.
They need it. They are down 11-6 here in the first game, and they can't afford to lose this one. You're watching Nike and REEBOK volleyball here on Prime. Is that snow in Central Florida? I think not. It is Blizzard Beach here in beautiful Walt Disney World. Welcome back to Prime's coverage of the 95 U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Championships with Nike in front of REEBOK Palisades in our opening game of this best 2-of-3 match, 11-6. I'm Dave Lamont along with Lisa Gunning, and Nike in the black with the serve.
George Romain got a piece of it. They're going to call touch off the block.
Gabe Gardner with the kill, side out to REEBOK. Now, we watched the match earlier at 15-4 where Nike defeated REEBOK. What did they do so well in those matches? And what are they doing something similar here as we see a mistake that time on a service ace, so it's 11-7. What's the difference in the match here and the match we saw earlier today?
Well, I really think that earlier today, Brandon Telefero really used his big guns well. He knew who was on, and quite honestly, when you got a George Romain and Andy Witt both on your squad, it makes it a lot easier on you.
Well, there's Romain right there showing his power. The kill for George, and it's side out to Nike.
He's so powerful. You don't really have to run much fancy, although they do set him a lot when he's in the back row. But when he's in the front row, you got to just keep feeding him the ball. He's on the opposite side now.
That'll be a point for Nike. It seems like that time REEBOK didn't seem very prepared for that serve at all from Andy Witt. So Nike all of a sudden has fattened up to a 12-7 advantage. And no communication there whatsoever.
Side out, REEBOK.
Side out, REEBOK.
That rarely happens. Brandon Telefero has such a good head, but it wasn't distinct who he was setting the ball to. Miscommunication.
Tim Farmer with a serve. Clyde, blocked back, kept alive. Knocked out, and it'll be a point for REEBOK.
REEBOK.
Nice scramble, but they really didn't get a good play on the ball.
That time a miss on the kill. Side out goes to Nike as Tim Farmer found the middle of the net. And now serving will be Peter Canesi.
That's Tim Farmer hitting from the back row, letting the ball drop a little bit too far in front of him to get it over.
Gardner finds the open space, scores the kill, and it remains 12-8 as REEBOK will get the serve. Gardner having a very good match.
Well, at 6'9", playing the outside, he's just powerful, and he can go over the block.
Gets the serve, however, the jump serve, which can be erratic, even for the very best of players, did not work, and Nike will take the side out.
REEBOK looks like their legs are a little heavy in this match so far.
George Romain with the serve. Well done that time by Dan Farmer.
Both Farmer players really communicate well. They bring a cohesiveness to REEBOK, and they're both super athletes.
Farmer is the 1995 CIF Player of the Year.
He's very modest.
Still alive. And looked like Klein had a fairly easy chance there and just bunted it over the net, so REEBOK will get the point. They are very alive in this match all of a sudden, 12-9 in the first game.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it seems like nerves have settled down a little bit, and they're going to get into the groove, and now we'll find out who really wants it.
Romain. Can they get it over by the table and almost into the stands? Go the Reebok players, Dan Farmer.
Nike.
But they can't handle it, and it'll be side out for Nike.
Great hustle by Reebok Palisades, but George Romaine has so much power. Take a good look at the 6'7" young man. He looks like he could be a starting tight end for somebody.
He seems to be a little bit bulkier than most of the other players we've seen on any of the teams we've watched. A little hand-to-hand combat at the net. Reebok Pally wins it, and they will take the side out.
Nike looked very unsure of themselves on that play.
And that's the second time now, the last 3 or 4 points, we've seen that uncertainty.
Navy not really backing up, thinking somebody's going to get the ball behind him, not opening up. Nice
Romaine.
back set.
Well done. He is maybe the hardest hitting player in this tournament.
And he really hasn't been playing volleyball very long. This Nike squad, these kids have not been playing long together. They're not experienced as a team, maybe as individuals, but not as a team.
Adam Navy found a little something on that serve. He gets the ace, picks up the point, 13-9. Nike just 2 away from capturing the first game.
I'm anxious to see what George Romaine and Andy Witt are doing in a couple years, if they're still in college or if they're playing with the national team.
Romaine on his way to Pepperdine. Get something off of that one.
Great control on that pass.
That is out of bounds, and it will be a point to Nike, and we have a game point for Nike to take a 1-0 advantage here.
Andy Witt does a great job of seeing the block, wiping it off, and getting the point.
Navy with a serve. Coming through as he has all match long. I think Gabe Gardner has been maybe the best player, at least in this opening match here for Reebok in the opening game.
Well, he has, but as I keep mentioning, at 6'9", he's the tallest player on the floor right now. He does have an inch advantage.
Romaine with the power advantage. So Nike once again will have the serve off of the side out, try to win this first game. If they win the 2 out of 3, it is over. Now, if Reebok wins this match,
George Romaine does a great job coming from the back row to put the ball away.
Reebok somehow wins this match, they'll be forced into a championship game. A little work of volleyball there, nicely done. And on that play, that is the end of the first game. Nike defeats Reebok Pally 15-9 to take the first game, and Nike is just 1 game away from the U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Championship. Relaxing is what these teams, Lisa, have not been doing, as we're now getting set for a third game. Nike won the first one 15-9. Reebok Palisades, the second one 15-12.
You're going to take a look at the kills. 47 for Nike. George Romaine leads the team with 17. But I think crucially, and the difference in game 2 has been the blocks for Reebok Palisades with the 10 as opposed to 92. That's Ryan Millar in the front row for Palisades, keeping him in the match.
See, George Romaine, certainly one of the outstanding players we have seen here. Now, rally scoring is being explained to our crowd here right now. I think a lot of them understand it because a lot of them are players. But let's talk to the home viewer a second and explain what rally scoring is.
Well, you don't really want to compare it to another sport, but it is most similar to tennis. The serve will exchange. However, instead of a side out, each point matters. Each point will be recorded on the scoreboard.
Very simple. So in other words, you can get a point if you are receiving the serve instead of just being the server. So the term side out is lost. Now, if Reebok is to win this game, if they win this game, we will play another game. And that will be a regulation volleyball game with the side outs and going back to winning by 2 with no cap, however. If Nike wins this game, they are the champions. They will have unseated the defending champions.
It's important to note also that there is no cap in this rally scoring. As I mentioned earlier, these two teams met in a previous tournament. The final score was 22-24 with Reebok Palisades winning. However, George Romaine was not playing in that match, and the coach, David Noble, had to go to Davis to recruit for UC Santa Barbara, so he wasn't there either. So it'll be very interesting to see if they get a little revenge going in this one.
Reebok will have the serve, Corin Bemis, and of course, as always, you must win this game by 2. So every point now matters. There's no more side outs. Puts a lot of pressure, I think, on the server more than any other player out there. Conservatively played that time by Nike. Got to get it over.
Both teams look a little tentative.
Blocked, and it's 1-0 Nike that time as Peter Kadeski gets the block. We mentioned that George Romaine will be in this match, of course, for Nike. Not in this game for Reebok, and probably not to return today is Fred Robbins, their outstanding player who was shaken up in that second game and probably will not return.
We got word he wasn't seriously injured, but he's a little bit woozy, and that's why he's not coming back in the game.
Gardner gets the kill. Point to Reebok, 1-1.
Number 23, Ryan Millar.
Millar will serve.
And Nike really had a big advantage with Millar in the back row.
I thought that was touched. It was. Patrick Klein gets the kill. It's 2-1 Nike.
Patrick Klein goes way up for the big outside kill. We're going to take a look at how high he is. He goes great, does a great job of going cross court, and Reebok gets a piece of it for the touch.
Barely over on the serve. Nope, under the net. That's a violation, and that will be a point for Reebok Pally to even this game at 2.
Serving for Reebok, number 10.
Farmer back to serve. He's a great all-around player.
That is out that time. Driven out by Klein, and it's 3-2 Reebok.
Klein making contact with the ball a little bit too far behind his head, not getting on top of it and able to put it away.
Klein, by the way, playing in his 5th straight final. Remarkable individual record.
Don't think anyone's ever done that before.
Block back again, and Reebok has done a magnificent job with the blocks. That time Dan Farmer and Gabe Gardner team up, and the early advantage goes to Reebok, 4-2.
We get to take another look at the big stuff block right back in George Romaine's face.
Klein babies that one. Great dig. Not that time, however. Farmer made a great effort, but the point goes to Nike.
Reebok Palisades has really come on strong so far. They seem like as the match progresses, they get into it a little bit more fluently, play with a little bit more enthusiasm and a little bit more consistency.
Joe Tuxerer checks in to serve for Nike. There he is. Farmer swats it down and scores the point for Reebok. It's 5-3. Substitution as Romaine will come right back into the game. And Tuxerer will check out, so he had his moment.
Since every point counts, David Noble being very smart, making that substitution, trying to get the server off balance.
5-4 as Nike gets the point off the Navy kill.
In volleyball, that's a great strategy, calling timeouts, making substitutions, making the server think about it a little bit more.
Klein serves. Oh, he took something off of that. I'm not sure if that was by design or by accident, but Farmer gets the point for Reebok. They lead by 2, 6-4.
Timing really wasn't there. We're going to take a quick look. I don't even think he made contact. Lucky play for Reebok.
Kind of brushed it with his fingers. That was not brushed. Kept alive and put down by Navy. Nike gets the point, 6-5.
Navy a big threat in that middle front position. He's going to take a rest for a minute.
Peter Kodexty, and number 15.
Chad Arneson will come in. He has been brought in on several occasions to serve. And Kadeski is also checked in.
Another gift.
You heard the Nike players yelling out trouble, trouble, but it wasn't for them as they get the point to even this game at 6. And this match is dead even.
This rally scoring moves so quickly. It's a treat for the fans.
Great dig, still alive.
That was a huge play by Farmer.
Can't handle that one as Corin Bemis comes in with the kill.
Bemis really coming alive on that play, getting a strong cross-court angle, really hammers it away.
Kurt Nelson with a serve. Reebok with a 1-point advantage, 7-6. Must win by 2.
Great pass.
Romaine is blocked. What's the call? Is it out? No, it is not out. They say the ball belongs to Reebok.
George Romaine came flying in there. Take another look. He really comes in strong, but he doesn't have enough time to go around the block or through the block. We're going to switch sides.
First team that gets to 8 causes the switch of the sides. There you see your score, even up at 1. Again, if REEBOK wins this, we'll play another game for the ultimate. This will be it, the last game. If Nike wins, then Nike becomes the U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Championships. Gives the players a chance to rest. You see David Noble trying to rally the Nike troops. And Bill Ferguson doing same for REEBOK Pally.
Bill Ferguson saying, we got it, thinking very confident, knowing that his team does very well, even if they do lose the first game, as we've seen them do so many times in this tournament.
As we see the faces of these young men who've been playing volleyball seemingly like every minute of their last 72 hours between the time in the Orange County Convention Center and now here at Walt Disney World's Fantasia Ballroom in the Contemporary Resort. REEBOK to serve up by 2. With authority.
Indeed.
8-7.
He is so strong from that outside, coming in for that high outside set.
Taliaferro with the serve. Notice we've had no service errors in this game when every service matters. Got a net violation.
That's very important and a great comment, because normally a service error will only result in a side out, but if you err here, that's an automatic point for the other team. That's a giveaway.
REEBOK picks up the point on that net violation to go back up to a 2-point lead. Blocked once again. And it is Gabe Gardner and Ryan Millar, but it seems like Gardner is involved in every one of the REEBOK blocks, and they now lead by 3.
Well, once again, Gardner, the 6'9" outside blocker, really sets the block well. Millard does a great job of closing. Too much for Witt.
Nike tries to rally. That shot, however, is out, and REEBOK picks up another point. It's 11-7. Nike has seen enough, and they're going to call a timeout. We're in the 3rd game of a match that's even, although REEBOK has taken a slight advantage here in game number 3. They are up 11-7 here on Prime. There's your score, and there's the situation as well. We're in the 3rd game. REEBOK wins. We'll play a 4th. If Nike wins and they make a little rally here, we will not play a 4th, and Nike will be crowned the champions. We're in the rally scoring. No more side outs. Every point counts.
If you like volleyball, this is primo.
As we expected, these are the top 2 seeds in this 84-team event here in Orlando. REEBOK Palisades, the defending champion, seated 1st. Nike Boys Volleyball out of Santa Barbara, seated 2nd. We are ready for Corin Bemis to serve.
It's only typical that these teams are taking it to this limit, because they've been battling each other all year long. That was a questionable play by Witt.
Ball is out of bounds. REEBOK continues to build on their lead, 12-7, and Nike appears to have nothing going for them well right now.
They just can't get it going.
They go for Romain. The call, waiting for the officials, is out of bounds, 13-7. The officials made everybody wait here until they finally figured out what to call.
I didn't think anybody was going to make the call.
2 more points here for REEBOK, and they will send this to a 4th game. Oh, right off the face. That is a facial.
That might be just the momentum turnaround that Nike was looking for. You got Romain in the front row. You got Taliaferro in the back row. You got Witt coming up with the big serve. If they can do something, now is their opportunity.
Jump serve.
Going for it. They're calling it overlap.
But he may have stepped over the line when he served. That appears to be the call coming from the first referee, Steve Satch. Now the 2nd official, Koichi Nomura, will go over and talk to the coach, David Noble, who's not at all happy.
And now a yellow card comes. Normally when a server steps on the line, they point to the line, and we're going to get to take another look at it. As long as he takes off behind the line, it doesn't matter where he lands.
Well, they have given out a yellow card. Now, that is just a warning.
That's correct. And if a red card were to appear for Nike, that would automatically record a point, because normally a red card records a point or a side out.
We took a look at Fred Robbins there, one of the star players for Reebok, who will not be playing.
Great pickup by Telefero off the block.
This is game point for Reebok. And nobody there. We're going to go to a fourth set as Gabe Gardner found a soft spot in the Nike defense. The final score here, 15-8. Reebok and Nike will play one more game to decide who will be the champion here in Orlando.
Gabe Gardner does a great job of finding the donut in the middle of the court as you see Telefero pumping his team up.
This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders.
Volleyball centennial year. Here's a salute to the old and the new, highlighting some of volleyball's greatest moments.
A centennial salute to volleyball. Brought to you by RICO, the name to know.
Welcome back, everybody. The Fantasia Ballroom in the Contemporary Resort Hotel in Walt Disney World. I'm Dave Lamont along with Lisa Gunning, and there's your story. Nike wins the first game. Reebok Palisades come back to win the next two to force a double final. And this game will have the regular volleyball scoring that we are used to. With one game, no cap, and regular scoring. That means we go back to side outs. And we see the stats and a big difference in kills and a big difference in blocks.
Well, I really think that the big difference is the blocks. Reebok Palisades really came on strong in the last two games, putting up the big block, and Nike just really hasn't been able to come up with the play and get some rally going. I think that's going to be the main objective in this double final, is if they can come up with the big block as you see them plotting their strategy now.
Now, if you're David Noble, who's on the left, the Nike coach, what do you say as you see Bill Ferguson on the right talking to his Reebok players? But David's got to rally the troops here, doesn't he?
David does have to rally his troops. He knows they know each other inside and out, meaning each other's teams, and I really think that they have to really concentrate on the block. They know they keep getting shut down, and that's kind of frustrating for them. Perhaps they're going to have to do a little different things to mix it up. We haven't seen any dumps from Nike. Maybe they might try to do that to catch them off pace a little bit. We might see a little bit more of line shots going. In the first game, the predominant success for Nike was George Romain hitting out of the back row. Maybe we need to see a little bit more of that. Those are things that were effective for Nike in game one.
And oddly enough, for Bill Ferguson's Reebok team, they lose a key player in Fred Robbins midway through game two, yet have managed to win without him.
Well, this Reebok Palisades team has some of the best talent in the country. As we mentioned early, 3 kids going to USC, 3 kids going to UCLA, Millar going to BYU. These are just strong athletes all around, and he feels that he has the best talent in this tournament, heads down. He thinks that he has the best heads of players at this level of 18 boys.
There you see Fred Robbins, who took a nasty fall back in the second game. Said to be just a little bit woozy, and you can't blame him. He was up just around net height when he got undercut by one of his own teammates accidentally. There you see Andy Witt, talented young player. Gabe Gardner, who's had an outstanding match there. And we look at the faces of these players as they get to play one more game, a double final. Again, to recap the scoring, it's back to what you're used to one game, regular scoring with side outs, and there is no cap, and of course, you must win by 2. This is a double elimination tournament with a loser's bracket. That's where REEBOK came out of, and that's why we are now going to the double final right here on Prime.
Well, we mentioned it's a long road to make it back through the loser's bracket, but REEBOK feels that they're only one game away. It doesn't matter where they've been, it's where they are now.
Bemis to serve, and he has been key. He has come out in the place of Robinson, played very, very well. Our officials are getting in place. The players are all ready. The crowd here at the Fantasia Ballroom is. Hope you are too. Here we go with the double final. They go right back to Romain, and he gets the side out.
I mentioned that he was so successful in game 1, and they go right to him off the bat.
Witt will serve. Oh, that ball looked like it was going out. Witt kept it in play. Romain drills it, gets the touch, and Nike gets the first point of the double final.
Well, that's 2 quick kills off the bat for George Romain. Telefaro being smart, knowing where his loaded guns are, and choosing to put the ball up for him.
Nicely put away that time there by Ryan Millar. So side out goes to REEBOK. Is that, you think, a strategy here that you might call on if you were coaching? Just give it to my best guys right now. I'm going to depend on the people who got me here.
Oh, you have to. This is the time to do it.
Blocked, rejected by Dan Farmer. It's 1-1.
Dan Farmer really coming on strong, going up with a big solo block, putting it back in his face. As you see him, perfect timing, nice stuff block. Dan Farmer.
Millar with a soft serve.
That's tight.
Looks like we have a net violation, and that will be a point for REEBOK.
Serve receiving not on the top of its game for Nike right now. That's a rare error for Andy Witt. He's a smarter player. He needs to bring the ball off the net a little bit so they can run the offense. That's a little too much.
Klein, blocked, but it's blocked out.
Klein is so powerful on that outside attack. When he just goes straight into the ball, it just sends the block just sends the ball long.
The side out scored by Nike. They get the ball back. Coming in to serve will be Joe Tucksher.
Joe Tucksher will serve for Nike.
And Nike is down 1-2 here in the double final. Nike's lost 2 straight games to get in this position. That goes out of bounds, and that will be a side out for REEBOK.
Patrick Klein going up on the single block,
Number 10.
carrying the ball out of bounds with him.
Farmer with a serve. Go to Klein, and he scores the side out. So more than 50 kills recorded in these games so far by Nike. But as you pointed out, the big difference is that REEBOK has about 3 times as many blocks.
And they're very successful in the dig category as well. So most of those attacks going for Nike are being either dug up or blocked down.
Trevor Wally making his first appearance, and he will serve.
There's a big block for Nike, something that they really need to help change the momentum to their side.
That ties the score here at 2. Checking the signals from the bench and where to put that serve. He almost got the point. Can't do anything with that, though. Power of Gabe Gardner. George Romain will come back in on the substitution. Holly Farmer. Blocked back and driven out. It'll be a point for REEBOK, and it is all of a sudden a 9-8 game.
Klein really gets up on this one, but the block is too tough for him. And REEBOK, Palisades once again, big point.
Nike needs something spectacular here. They go to Romain. Great effort, but this is going to wind up in the stand. But that's the kind of effort you give when you're playing for a championship. Tremendous try there by Tim Farmer. Nike scores the side out. Let's see if George Romaine can get the point for Nike on the serve.
Great effort going in the back court by Farmer, trying to pick it up. Can't get a handle.
Oh, he barely got the serve over. Almost caught him off guard. Blocked by Navy. The point to Nike. What an unusual point.
Great net play by Navy.
And we have a call coming from the back court. And it's going to barely be a side out for REEBOK.
We're going to get another look at Navy at the net. Has great composure. Comes back.
A foot fault was called.
Now serving for REEBOK, number 17.
They called a foot fault on the serve at 9-8. So it's side out REEBOK with a chance to tie. And the serve is out. A service error.
REEBOK Palisades really need to take advantage of that crucial error by Nike, and does not. And Nike is back to serve again. You can bet Klein won't step on the line.
And didn't.
Tight pass. Somebody's in the net.
Net violation. And that's going to go against Nike. It's the side out for REEBOK. And Nike cannot do anything right on their serve.
Millar checking in for REEBOK Palisades to put up the big block.
Blasted out, and we are tied at 9. Here's Witt. It's blocked. Dug out spectacularly by Farmer. REEBOK scores another point. What a great point that time for Dan Farmer.
We got the big dig from one Farmer and the put away from the other Farmer, and we're going to get to take a nice look at it. Farmer on the outside from the back row goes cross court, and Nike can't come up with the play.
We jinked it, but didn't work. Gardner, and REEBOK is on fire. They're on a 9-0 run. And Nike will call a timeout. REEBOK Palisades has blown by Nike here in this double final championship game. They lead 11-9 here on Prime. See your score here at the Contemporary Resorts Fantasia Ballroom. REEBOK running 9 unanswered points here on Nike in this double final. Remember, it's a one-game situation here. There's no cap. First to 15, but you got to win by 2. And we are back into the regular scoring with side outs. Dan Farmer to serve. And he has really turned it on the last several points. Nike looking a little scrambled, but they get a break.
Successful timeout taken by David Noble to get the ball back on the Nike side of the court.
They looked a little bit disorganized off of Farmer's serve, but Andy Witt rescued them. And they'll ask Adam Navy to get a point off the serve. Blocked, sent back, and Andy Witt sends it back and stares it down as well.
Andy Witt does a great job of matching up, waiting, goes up high, perfect timing, gets the stuff, solo block.
11-10.
And the stare, as you mentioned.
Threw a little something extra in there. These guys know each other very well. Blocked again by Witt. Tipped. Kept alive. Witt. He's blocked. It goes, I believe, out of bounds, and that will be a point for Nike. We're even at 11.
Andy Witt really sees the block very well. Saw it there, used it for the wipe out of bounds.
REEBOK now trying to recover back there. Momentum. They go to Farmer. Dug out by Romaine.
Great pickup by George Romaine.
Klein just babies it over to keep it going.
Can't attack. He's in the back row.
Blocked out of bounds, and it'll be a side out.
He see Brandon Telefaro shaking his head, knowing he didn't quite turn the ball into the court as he should on the block.
Kurt Nelson with a serve.
Anxious to see if Nike runs something quick off this serve reception. Don't get the pass to do it, though.
Still alive, off the net. Carter took a lot off of that. Romaine didn't. Dug out. That will head out. When they needed it, the power of George Romaine there for the kill. We're even at 11 as Nike scores the side out.
Nike going to George Romaine twice out of the back row in that rally. And remember, that's where Nike really comes alive, is when George Romaine's in the back row. It's incredible.
An unusual looking shot that time from Bemis, and Nike has recaptured the lead at 12-11. Now they are on a 3-0 run.
Bemis just really trying to keep the ball in play as it was set way outside the antenna.
Tough angle, he just didn't have it. Bemis had that angle, however, sends that one over towards the fans, and it's side out Reebok.
Telefaro really can't get the handle on it. It was a hard hit smash. Perfect pass.
Blocked by Millar. We'll try one more time. Romaine. Dug out by Farmer. Still alive. Going crashing into the bench. Gabe Gardner. He's all right, it looks like. Got his guys out of the way, but Nike reclaims the serve.
Serving number 16.
They're at a point now in this championship where just a couple of points will decide it. Guys are going to be diving everywhere to get a ball. Tim Farmer. We have a net violation, and it's going to be side out for Reebok.
Patrick Klein getting caught in the net.
Hope you're enjoying this tremendous volleyball match between two California rivals, Nike from Santa Barbara and Reebok from Palisades, here on Prime. Romaine blocked. Jinked beautifully by Patrick Klein.
Patrick Klein uses great finesse to go right over top of the block. You can see him draw back, take something off, and just drops it right over the head of the blocker.
That's got to be so frustrating to get psyched for the block and to see a guy dink it as you're on your way down and just unable to do a thing about it.
Well, and you see the ball hanging there and you can't get it.
Jump serve into the net. Kadatsky fails to get the serve over. Side out goes to Reebok, and they're only down by a point.
Tim Farmer.
Romaine.
Kill for George Romaine.
25 kills maybe for him today, maybe more.
Serving for Nike number 10.
He's been very successful. More successful once again, hitting out of the back row. As he rotates back to serve, we'll probably see him going to him again in the back row.
Good deep serve. Dink. He's ready for it. They do go to Romaine, and his shot is a winner.
Kill for George Romaine.
13-11, and suddenly Nike is 2 away from the championship. And a timeout is called by Bill Ferguson and Reebok Palisades. Nike in this double final championship game leading 13-11. You're watching great volleyball action here on Prime. There's your score, double final. Nike 2 points away from the championship. And it's their ball. Romaine to serve. Is a serve that George Romaine will try to forget very quickly.
Critical mental error. Granted, he just is coming off of a broken pinky, but you got to get that ball in the court.
Well, he goes right back for the power and scores the side out, so his teammates show their faith in him, and he does what he does best, just coming through with the raw kill. Patrick Klein will serve.
Reebok Palisades needing the good pass.
Good effort on the dig, but you can't do much with Gabe Gardner's kill, and REEBOK gets the side out.
The big gun, Gabe Gardner, does a great job of putting it away from the back row. Beautiful pass.
And beautifully put away. George Romaine scores on the side out. It's 13-11. Adam Navy will try to serve.
Great dig.
But blocked with some authority. Called in.
Davey comes up with the great dig, but sets it up perfect for the overpass, and REEBOK Palisades puts it away.
Nelson will serve. Romaine hits it out.
Gets the
No, he got the
touch
touch. He got the touch ball.
Side out Nike.
Nike scores the side out.
Serving for Nike, number 11, Brandon Talaferro.
We have a player with a shoe problem, apparently. And also wants to get his floor clean. He was tying his shoes and fixing a strap or two there. And also decides to get the floor clean while he's at it. So at a dramatic moment, well, all of a sudden we have to fix his shoe. Dug out. Nicely by David. Romaine. Still alive. Farmer keeps it over. Romaine. Partially blocked. Got to go over. Kept alive nicely by Miller. One more. Romaine again. And a winner. George Romaine has given Nike championship point here at 14-11.
We're going to see some great defense from REEBOK Palisades, being able to keep the ball alive, getting under it, keeping it back in play, and then eventually George Romaine puts it away for the kill.
Championship point. Over the net. It'll be a side out for REEBOK.
Andy Witt goes up high, interferes with the ball in play for REEBOK Palisades, calling him over the net, and a big side out for REEBOK.
Bemis with the serve now for REEBOK Pali. Romaine. Boy, he has just come on in this double final and been a monster with the kills.
A monster kill, but even a better pass from Andy Witt to set up the high outside put away.
Once again, Witt with the serve on championship point. Gardner saves it. A second championship point goes by the boards.
Side out REEBOK.
Adam Navy can't get his arms turned to keep the ball in play. Scoots off. Once again, the change of hands.
Millar now on the serve. They go to Romaine. They do. They can't stop him. And I would think that if Nike can find a way to get him the ball here, they will. It's championship point one more time.
Serving for Nike, number 9.
Kadaski will serve now. He occasionally goes for a jump serve here. Let's see if he can do it. Stays flat-footed. That is a winner. Another kill. And REEBOK gets the side out. Gardner again coming through.
Great offensive fake by REEBOK Palisades. Able to go up outside against no block.
Romaine. Unstoppable at this point. It's championship point for a fourth time, and Romaine will serve. And his last serve didn't even touch the net. It went underneath it. It barely got it over. Gardner saves another one. 3 times Nike has had a chance at championship point and been denied.
If Nike can be accused of making any mistake in this match, it's not going to George Romaine enough on the attack.
That was my mistake. Their 4th championship point now they have held on the serve and have been unable to convert. I think Gardner has stopped every one of them. And meantime, who else but George Romaine again? Side out Nike for the 5th time It's championship point. And the last Patrick Klein to serve this time.
Brandon Telefair talking to George, saying, I'm coming to you, I'm coming to you.
Blocked, but out. And it will be side out.
Side out, Reebok.
Reebok, 5 championship points. Reebok has fought off. Dan Farmer to serve, trying to get a 3rd junior gold medal. Dinked beautifully by Taliaferro. Championship point number 6. Navy will serve.
Telefair does a great job of going up like he's going to do the jump set and puts it over.
So much pressure. Dink, alive. Now they have a chance for Romain here. But he can't do anything with it. Not a great pass. It'll be side out for Reebok.
Side out, Reebok. Serving for Reebok, number 7, Kurt Nelson.
Meantime, Reebok can't score either. We are stuck here at 14-11 this final game. Romain. They have no answer for him. They do not have an answer for him.
Side out, Nike. Serving championship point for Nike.
Championship point number 7. Taliaferro will try. That's a good serve. It's over. On the serve by Taliaferro, Nike has unseated the defending champions from Palisades, and Nike wins the double final, 15-11. There you see the victorious Nike team, and at the same time the pain felt by the defending champions. A magnificent match that Gabe Gardner played today. And the other end of the spectrum, the celebration for the team in the black. Nike from Santa Barbara. They'll take home the gold from the U.S. Junior Olympic Volleyball Championships. Lisa, what a tremendous final.
Amazing, great competition, and such a duel.
Here is championship point one more time on the serve. Confusion in the Reebok backcourt, and that is all as Nike takes this double final 15-11 and celebrates accordingly. It's been a long tournament for all these players. Nike, the champion of the 84 teams here at Walt Disney World. There's your final in the double final. That was a 4th game. Forced when Reebok Palisades came from 1 game down all the way back to win 2 consecutive games and send this into a double final. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you enjoyed this. I'm Dave Lamont along with Lisa Gunning. And Lisa, it was fitting to have a spectacular finish to this event.
It was an outstanding tournament, great competition. George Romain with 37 kills, outstanding play, definitely the key to the entire match, George Romain.
One more time, your final. Nike defeats Reebok Palisades in the double final, 15-11. Spectacular volleyball here on Prime. We hope you enjoyed it. For Lisa Gunning, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for watching volleyball here on Prime. Accommodations provided by Disney's Contemporary Resort. To make the dream come true, call 407-WDisney.